Manchester United's pursuit of Lille Wonderkid has taken a surprising turn of events, with the player now directly negotiating with Manchester United over contract terms, wages, and role within the squad. This is what we will be discussing on this afternoon's video. But before we get into that, please smash a like on today's show and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So let's jump straight on into this. This is coming out from multiple different people. I'm going to read out a couple of the quotes. So the first one is from a journalist called Nabil Djelet. He reports for all of the top French outlets. He has over 500,000 followers on Twitter. He is reporting that Leny Yoro is now in negotiations with Manchester United on salary conditions. He says Yoro has now opened the door to joining Manchester United. He says Real Madrid are still there, but they are now behind Manchester United in the pursuit of Leny Yoro. I did have a funny feeling that this could happen. We know that Real Madrid lowballed Lille on the offer. They offered them 17 million. Man United offered 42 million and had an offer accepted. We know that Erik ten Hag and Ineos had directly spoken to Leny Yoro's agents and said, come to Manchester United, you will be a starting centre-back. You're only 18 years of age. If you want to move to Real Madrid in 4 or 5 years, then, you know, that door is open for you. And it looks like he's actually having his head turned here because effectively Real Madrid aren't actually showing that they want him that much. They're effectively saying, we're either going to put in a lowball offer or we're going to wait a year and sign you for free. Now, what happens if he gets injured this season? What happens if he does his ACL? What happens if he has an awful season and Real Madrid decide they don't want him next year? He's got a massive decision to make. The story then goes on to say as well that some members of Leny Yoro's entourage are now in favour of him joining Manchester United. It says that contractual negotiations with Manchester United have now been initiated with his agent. The Red Devils are pushing to complete the deal. It says, for the moment, Real Madrid have not made a new offer. I honestly think we're going to get him. People seemed obsessed with this Ligt deal. People thought that the Ligt deal was done. The narrative has been, since this morning anyway, that Manchester United will either sign Ligt or Leny Yoro. You can let me know in the comments section, who would you prefer? If you could only pick one player, would you go for Leny Yoro or Ligt? Let me know. And obviously David Ornstein, the very reliable Tier 1 athletic journalist, this morning came out saying that Manchester United would only sign Leny Yoro or Ligt. And from this news that we've had this afternoon, it's clear to see that Leny Yoro is the player Manchester United want. That's the one that Ineos have their heart set on. And that's who Erik ten Hag really, really wants. And the more I think about it, I feel like Ligt is a backup option. I feel like Ligt is an option that if Maguire and Lindelof go, maybe we'll go back in for Ligt later on in the window. Because at the moment, Ligt is an easy player to get. Bayern Munich want to sell him. He wants to leave. He wants to come to Manchester United. We've been supposedly negotiating for about a month with Ligt. There's nothing to negotiate. The deal was there to be done if we wanted him, and we haven't got the deal over the line. And I don't think that's because, you know, of prices or because the player didn't want to come, because the fee's been reported on Ligt for literally like 2 weeks. 50 million euros is what they wanted, you know? So it's clear to see that Manchester United want Leny Yoro. And from what we're getting this afternoon, it looks like Manchester United will get their man, I think. And I personally think he'll be a much better signing than Ligt. I think Ligt is a quality centre-back, but Leny Yoro is widely regarded as one of the best up-and-coming centre-backs in world football. And I honestly think that if we bring him in now and we have him as a starting centre-back alongside Martinez, I think in the next 2 or 3 years, he'll be up there with the best. Whereas Ligt is obviously very good, but he has injury problems. He is currently sitting on the bench and Eric Dyer is ahead of him at Bayern Munich. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. Imagine that. We're buying a player who at this moment in time is being benched by Eric Dyer. Now, things can change. He could come to Manchester United and he could do amazing. And, you know, we might look back on this video and say we were so wrong, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, Leny Yoro is wanted by lots of top clubs. Liverpool wanted him. PSG wanted him. Real Madrid are obviously desperate for him. Who else wants Matthias de Ligt? I don't know anybody who wants him. Apparently PSG were interested a couple of weeks ago. But other than that, there's been no stories of people wanting to go and enter a bidding war with us for de Ligt. We were the only club really, really going for him, and effectively we haven't got the deal done. Obviously, we know that Lille have accepted our bid, which was 50 million euros plus 12 million euros in add-ons, so 42 million pounds up front plus approximately 10 million pounds in add-ons. No problem with that whatsoever. Well, I'll obviously keep you updated, and we'll see how this story progresses. But I'm really, really hoping that Ineos get their man here, because it's clear to see that the number one target is Leny Yoro, I think. Otherwise, why would we still be talking to him? Why would we not have just signed de Ligt by now? Florian Plettenberg came out in the last hour and said that Apparently, Man United haven't been in contact with Bayern Munich in over 72 hours, apparently. So there's been no conversations. I know there was people yesterday saying the deal was done, it was a here we go, but they weren't reliable journalists. It was some guy on Twitter who was claiming that he was a football expert. He wasn't. He was just some random like fake account, pretty much. And Florian Plettenberg is a very, very reliable German journalist who focuses on Bayern Munich, and he said from his information he's got, Man United have not spoken to Bayern in over 72 hours. So what would that be like since last Thursday, Friday? Whereas we know for a fact, based on all of these reports that have come out in the last kind of 10 or so minutes, that Leny Yoro agents are now directly negotiating with Manchester United over wages and all the rest of it. You wouldn't do that if your player didn't want to come. Now, there is always the potential that this is just an attempt to try and get Real Madrid to submit another offer. We can't be naive in this situation. We know how transfers work, and we know how Manchester United's name gets used to try and effectively get players to other clubs. We always are linked to players. And there is a very, very high chance that, Leny Yoro's agent is speaking to Manchester United, hoping that by looking like we're close to a deal, Real Madrid come in and say, oh, we'll give you the money you want, Leo, don't worry, and they sign him. That is obviously a very strong possibility. I'm not going to be naive, but from what I've been told and from what I've read, Real Madrid don't want to pay 42 million for him. And that's how much Lille are asking for. They're not willing to do that because they see it as, if we don't get him, we'll go and get somebody else, Like Real Madrid aren't that bothered. And I think that from all the stories we've seen today, that's kind of rubbing off on Leny Yoro. He can see how desperate Manchester United are for him. They can see that he will come to Manchester United and he will start every single game. Leny Yoro is going to start over Maguire. He's going to start over Lindelof. He's going to start over Johnny Evans without a shadow of a doubt. Whereas if he goes to Real Madrid, we spoke about this before. They've got David Alaba, they've got Rudiger, they've got Militao. They've probably got some others I've forgotten. They've got 3 world-class centre-backs already who are probably going to start ahead of him. He's probably going to be a rotation player. So, yeah, this deal is taking a crazy turn, and I think we should get 100% clarification in the next kind of 24 hours. But as it stands, at the point of recording this video, Manchester United have now moved ahead in the race to sign Leny Yoro, and the agent is in direct negotiations with Manchester United over salary, over signing on fees, and all the rest of it. So this deal is very, very close now. The fee's already been agreed. Lille have accepted the bid. We could literally get a here we go later on today. It is very, very possible. And I'm excited about it. I am excited because I think he's going to be a quality player, and we're planning for the future. He's 18. He could be here for the next 10 years, even longer, 15 years even. Whereas again, if you compare that with Ligt, he's 24. Like, Ligt's probably going to be good for like 5, 6, maybe 7 years. Leny Yoro is the future. So I'm really, really excited about this. Obviously, I wanted to bring you the breaking news as soon as it came live. I want you to let me know in the comment section how you feel about this. Do you think Manchester United will get him? And I also want you to let me know whether you would go with Ligt or Leny Yoro if you had to pick one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This has been Daily Red Devil. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back at 6 o'clock for a longer live show. Please make sure to smash a like on the video on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll speak to you all in a couple of hours' time. Bye for now.